it's a very important, I won't say balance, but it's an important thing to understand where you have to find the right amount of that. I don't want to sleep until noon and then miss an entire half of the day. I don't want that. What is the less optimal but still optimal amount, maybe?
Think about what's the percentage that would make you the most fulfilled. And if you say 100% immediate gratification, 0% long term, I would say that's probably not true. No one wants immediate gratification 24/7, 365. It's not sustainable.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, for episode number 1806, do you ever resent your goals? Alan and I kind of did a debrief on Podcast Movement 2024. I don't know how I feel yet. I'm going through an identity crisis, as I do when I go to podcasting events or when I travel in general, I think. But we were talking about how on one of the nights, the organization rented an entire floor of Topgolf, which, again, I don't know how much that cost. I'm guessing it was thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. I don't know. And there was I didn't want to go, so I'll be very honest.
What is Topgolf?
Topgolf, for those who might not know, is an upscale driving range experience. So you go hit golf balls.
Is it indoor or outdoor?
It's outdoor, but it's covered. So you kind of get your own like little room with probably has TVs and maybe a mini bar, or maybe there's just a big bar. But they have TVs and stuff in it, seats. You can get food, apps brought over, drinks brought over. I've never been. I just know what it is. I'm terrible at golf, and I don't really like golf. So if it was, I don't know, top hockey or something, I'd probably want to be in on that, but not. I went golfing one time with one of my friends, and I was probably, I don't know, early 20s. No, earlier, 18 maybe. I went golfing with one of my friends and my uncle, and I left on like the third hole. And my friend was like, dude, you're going to leave me here? And I said, you do whatever you want, man. I'm leaving. I'm taking off. I can't do this anymore. I suck. This is hurting me physically and mentally and emotionally to be this bad. So, full transparency, I didn't
wonder why you golfed alone back in your 20s.
Well, I had to work on my craft. I didn't want to go to Topgolf. I don't really have any interest in going. It doesn't start until like 9 at night. I'm in bed at 9:30. No, I can't do this. I don't want to go do this. But there was a very, very small piece of me that had a little bit of resentment of the fact that if I want to go to the gym tomorrow, I have to be up at 5. The gym's 15 minutes away. That's the closest, nicest one I could find. The venue, people are getting there at like 8. So if I want to get to the hotel at 8, and the hotel is like 15 minutes away, so I have an hour of travel between all the places I'm going to go. I got to shower. I got to iron my clothes. There's no way I'm going to be able to go out and then get up at 5. That's not good. And then I asked Alan, I said, what do you think about doing an episode on resenting your goals? Because yes, we're very positive about goals, and goals are amazing, and goals create the results that we aspire to, and you learn a ton about yourself and the type of person you become the type of person you become in order to be capable of attracting, aka creating and sustaining those results, are amazing. But some days it sucks to have goals because it doesn't allow you necessarily to have the quality of life that you want. It would have been really cool to go play Topgolf if that's something that I valued. But even if I valued golf at a very, very high level, I wouldn't have gone. It just wasn't. I would have regretted it. I would have regretted going and staying out until midnight and then going to the gym at 5. I wanted to lift. I was super excited to work out. I was in a new gym. It was awesome. But that's kind of the frame of this episode. Sometimes your goals suck, and I think it's really easy to turn your goals into enemies or really resent your goals because your goals are going to dictate what is in alignment and ultimately what's not.
That's exactly it. Your goals, the moment you set a goal, immediately you have to filter everything you do and don't do through that.
What's a goal you resent currently? You have a goal you resent?
Yeah. So Emilia and I are doing this thing where we go to bed at 10 p.m. every night. We're in the bedroom at 10. We don't necessarily go right to bed.
Yeah.
But we're in the bedroom and the pets are away, and that's been hugely beneficial. Wake up earlier, get better sleep. I mean, there's so many pros, so many good things. But sometimes I'm resentful of last night, for example, we only got 35 minutes of, by the time we sat down, okay, by the time we get home from the gym, get everything settled, get the meals prepped, it was 9:15 by the time we sat on the couch to eat. And I'm like, okay, set a timer for 9:50. 35 minutes. And I told Emilia one of my core values, one of my cup fillers, love languages, is I need an hour of R&R. That's it. I don't need that much. I need an hour. And for some reason, it's actually like an hour. If we do a me-we date. So what is a me-we date? It's a date where you're together but not together. So imagine you're in the same room. She's watching her show and I'm watching something on the projector. Mm-hmm. An hour and I don't know. It's like, I'm good. Cool. Let's rock and roll. Let's get up and grind. But for some reason, if I don't get that hour, I'm just a resentful, grumpy gills.
Asshat?
I don't know if I'd call myself an asshat, but I would say I'm grumpy. I'm annoyed. I'm frustrated. And again, it's not anything crazy, but I woke up this morning, looked at my calendar, and I was like, yep, awesome. Okay, back to 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 back. I probably exaggerated that. I think no, I didn't. No, I'm looking at my calendar. No, I didn't exaggerate it. And it's like, okay, happy fucking Friday. And honestly, if I had gotten R&R this week, I wouldn't feel that way. Because there's pros and cons to everything. Emilia's super pumped, 10 out of 10. She loves the mornings. She adores waking up early and being up with the sun and all that kind of stuff. And she's the happiest morning person in the entire world. She's a much more of a morning person than I am. And so we wake up with a big smile. It's a wonderful morning together. It's been actually really nice. I wake up with my journal. It's right by my bedside. I do my journal in bed with her. It's been really nice. But pros and cons. And so the moment that you set a goal, the height of that goal dictates the size of the standards. We've talked about that 1,000 times. Of course. The size of the standards is what I think we build resentment for. What's a good example of this? Okay, the 10 pound in 10 week challenge, we've been talking about it a lot, but I think it's a good metaphor. I'm about to hit 190 again. I'm building up and it's happening a little quicker. Last time I weighed myself was 187.5 and then it was 188. So I'm going up quick. And I tend to do that, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong again. I'm feeling full again after a cut of 10 pounds. So 11.4 pounds in 9 weeks. I just was starting to feel a little bit weak. And I'm an ectomorph. I'm tall and lanky, so I like being thick.
Nobody knows what an ectomorph is, by the way. Every time you say
no one does?
No. Well, not nobody, but most people have not studied ectomorph and mesomorph.
Great point.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
Tall and lanky. Picture someone who's naturally tall and lanky, and they basically struggle to build muscle. And so I like to be bigger. Kevin likes to be leaner because he's
built I'm built like a bar stool,
sausage.
like a bar stool kind of.
There you go. So my whole point of this, though, 11.4 pounds, 9 weeks, it sucked because I had to eat so much less. And while grinding business, goals, relationship, all this stuff, one of the things that I enjoy most is food. I adore food. I'm a huge fan. And when you and I travel, I mean, we're just pumped about food. Remember when we got tacos like 6 nights in a row? They were bomb.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. It was great. So food is a huge love language.
Not
Fills
Pittsburgh.
my cup.
Sorry. That was Wisconsin. Pittsburgh, we got Domino's every night.
Yeah. Good times. And so when I'm dieting, I get resentful of my goals a little bit. And that's why I think that's a good example. So every time you set a goal, whether it's fitness, health, wealth, life, love, usually there's sacrifices you have to make. And if you sacrifice something that's a core value, it can be very hard to not be a little annoyed.
We were talking about this before. It's very important to figure out what is over-optimizing for a goal. Meaning, one of the nights I was in Virginia. I think I stayed in Virginia. I was getting ready for bed, and I was like, honestly, I think I'm going to sleep a little bit tomorrow. Because it was the day I was leaving. I could go to the gym a little bit later. And it was the first time I could not tell you the last time I didn't get up at 6. I'm not sure when it was. But it was the first time for a long period of time I didn't get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I think I slept till like 6:45, which for me was huge. And now today I got up at 6. I think I got at 6:30 today. I jeffed today. It was my first morning home. I was in my bed. I was like, I didn't have any meetings. I had 2 meetings today because I try not to schedule a ton after travel because I'm usually fried. But I wonder if it would be productive, just like when you're dieting, sometimes it's productive to add in like a diet break where you don't go crazy. You don't go off the rails and say, I'm going to get 12 pizzas today. You
Called
just
a refeed.
Yeah, you can do a refeed, or you can have a week or a couple days at maintenance where you just eat whatever your maintenance calories are. Maybe that's something for you, whether you're watching or listening, that would be constructive. It's just it can be very dangerous because the last thing you want to do is work so hard to get a result and then have your reward erode all the progress you just made towards the result. So it's a very important, I won't say balance, but it's an important thing to understand where you have to find the right amount of that. I don't want to sleep until noon and then miss an entire half of day. I don't want that. What is the less optimal but still optimal amount, maybe?
I think one of the questions everyone can ask themselves is, what's your 10 out of 10, what's your 9, and what's your 8? In other words, what's the priority? So I told Emilia this when we started the 10 p.m. thing. I said, is that the thing I'm optimizing for? That's what we're doing. So that's the 10 out of 10, meaning I'm going to be allowed to miss on the other stuff. Like if there's dishes in the sink,
right,
that's okay. We're going to leave them and get to bed. She said yes. It's very important to understand what's the most important thing. This podcast is the 10 out of 10 for us. So over the last 7 years, we've never missed an episode. In business, we never will. Let's say I had a coaching call and you and I would record at 8. We'd record at 9. We'd record at 10 p.m. if we have to. We've done it. Yep. We don't want to have to do that. And if we're proactive and effective adults, we won't do that.
And do you resent it more when we do? I do.
Definitely.
For sure. So just wanted to throw
Definitely.
That in. Yep.
No, it's so important. And so here's the thing. You can't have, and this is why I do this with my clients, I don't set 50 goals. I don't agree with that at all. If you want a vision board and you want to write down 500 things you want to accomplish in your lifetime, that's fine. But when I set up goals for people, and I'm very, very grateful. I just got my 29th client that I'm currently coaching. Someone reached out to me recently and they said, Alan, you make it sound like you only have ever had 29 clients. No. I've had dozens, if not hundreds. I have 29 currently on my roster, like 29 that I'm coaching now.
Recurring.
But anyways, the reason I say that isn't to brag about me. It's to say I'm doing this with 29 individuals. We are setting goals. And I only ever do 3 goals. I used to do, let's write down a list. You and I have done it. Let's vision board. No, 3 at a time. And the reason why is because you're going to resent the hell out of your goals if you try to do 50 things all simultaneously. You're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to end up doing less. It's almost like you have to choose what are the top 3 goals this year that you care about most? And then what are the top 3 behaviors under each of those? And then let the rest ride, because you're going to resent your goals so much. If they're too high, if there's too many of them, if they're outside of alignment with your core values, if they're outside of alignment with the quality of life you want.
Next Level Nation, what is happening? If you've thought to yourself, I want to try coaching, but you don't really know where to start, group coaching would be a wonderful place for you. That's really why we created it in the first place. We start a new round every 90 days. So if you're hearing this, go to the website, nextleveluniverse.com, and we have the landing page where you can actually hold your spot right now. Even if there's a group going on right now, you can still lock your spot for the next one. The biggest thing that we've seen is as we get closer and closer to the date, unfortunately, some people end up missing. The group fills up and they can't do it, and then they end up regretting that. So please head over to the website. The link will be in the show notes, and we would love to see you there.
I was thinking about this earlier. I think I was getting ready. I think I was in the bathroom. And I was thinking, what an interesting metaphor this would be. Today, a human being, we'll call him human A, can take $100 and buy something enjoyable for that $100 on a credit card. Or they can put that $100 into an investment account. The person who, we'll call it human A and human B. Human A puts $100 on a credit card for something they enjoy now. Human B puts $100 in an investment account. Human A gets immediate gratification and gets to enjoy themselves right now, and human B's future got bigger, better, and brighter. Everything comes down to that basic choice. Everything. You basically get to enjoy now or later, at all times. Now, maybe there's human C, and human C takes 50 and enjoys now and gets Chinese food or whatever you love, and 50 puts it in an investment account.
Yeah.
Figure out whether you're human A, B, or C, and anywhere in between. And which one would you be fulfilled being? Because I think most people would not be fulfilled as C. Emilia would. Emilia would be fulfilled at C. Most people, I think, are temporarily fulfilled as A, but they always pay for it eventually.
Why don't you think people would be fulfilled at C? That one resonates the most with me.
C is the one where you invest all $100.
Oh, I thought that was B.
Oh, you're absolutely right. That's my bad.
I was gonna say.
Okay, hold on.
How dare you?
No, I think most people would be fulfilled with B. My bad. Emilia would be fulfilled with C, which is invest all 100.
No. C, sir. C was 50-50.
I know. I'm screwing it up.
A is you spend it all. B is you invest it all. C is 50-50.
Yeah.
Okay? So Emilia would be very fulfilled with B.
You want to know why that doesn't work for me? Because numbers-wise, it's 0, 50, 50, 100.
Yeah, that makes sense.
C should be 100.
Well,
I screwed it up, man. Can't now. Okay.
C is 50-50.
Okay. I think most people would be temporarily fulfilled with A and long-term more fulfilled with C. Emilia would be fulfilled with B. And I think I resonate with her more on this than anything. Yeah. But what's your percentage? Everyone, I think this is going to land. I hope it will. Everyone think, what percentage do you want to enjoy now? And what percentage do you want to invest in your bigger, better, brighter future? Now, it's not just money, time, effort, experience. It's a metaphor. So for Kev, what's your percentage? Let's you and me lead by example here.
I don't know. It's definitely... It's changed so many times. I don't know.
What do you think it is now?
No, probably 80-20. 80 future, 20 now.
Agreed. Yeah. I think mine is probably 95-5. Maybe 90-10. What's 1 hour out of 16? What's 1 divided by 16?
I'm not the guy, man.
Hey, Alexa, what's 1 divided by 16?
0.75.
1 divided by 16 is 0.0625.
That's close.
So 6.25%. 6.25%. So yeah, it's 95.5.
Little Alexa shout out on the podcast. I don't know if Alexa's ever been on the podcast. What's happening? We have three hosts now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
We've been doing a lot of Googling lately too. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool. So you're 80-20.
Now
80% future, 20% now. But here's the
I think it's different. It's changed over the last 7 years. In the beginning, It was like 100% now, 0% future. And then I adopted Alan's lifestyle for a while where it was like 95-5, and I was miserable.
Yeah.
And then I think it's transitioned to hopefully a healthier from the place of healthy for me, but also healthy for my goals.
Yeah.
That's the optimal.
Can you take us through, I know we have a little bit of time here. Can you take us through that it was 100% immediate gratification, 0% long-term investment?
Yeah.
Now it's 80% long-term investment, 20% enjoy the now. And the interesting thing about this is your 20% gets bigger and bigger and bigger because of your 80% investment. So
that's so hard to explain.
Agreed. How did you get from 100-0 to 80-20 the other way?
I went broke, and then I realized that the 100-0 isn't serving me.
It's not sustainable.
It's definitely not sustainable. It feels really good in the moment. I would always have these regrets. You've heard me say this several times on the podcast. When I used to work in New Jersey, that's where we did a lot of our work. I lived in New Hampshire at the time. We worked in New Jersey, which is 4 to 7 hours away, depending on where you are. And we would go out to these bars. And it got to the point where I worked in New Jersey so much. We knew bartenders, and we had certain places we would go, and we had friends. And I would buy 20 shots. I would say, how many shots can you legally get me? How many can I buy? What is the most amount of shots I can buy? And I think one of the places was like 20. But we have to walk around with you. We can't just give you 20 shots. And I was like, oh, that's fine. You can walk around with me, and we'll hand them out. I always regretted that the next day. I never woke up the next day pumped about that, ever. I was like, you stupid bastard. You spent how much on shots? I mean, those are $10 a pop? You spent $200 on shots last night?
Yeah.
And then
that's
you
not
probably
including all the other drinks.
Yeah, and you probably gave the bartender or the waitress, whoever it was, like $20 or $40 for helping you. You stupid bastard. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
But in the moment, I felt like the man. It was awesome.
It was awesome. Right? Whenever I drank in the moment, it was awesome. And then the next day, the hangover. That's a good metaphor for life. So everyone listening or watching this, what is your percentage? We're not making any percentage wrong.
I am making the percentage that's wrong for you wrong.
Agreed. I would not be fulfilled without, like if it was 98.2, I wouldn't be fulfilled. I know, I'm kind of doing that right now.
Yeah.
If it was 50-50, I would not be fulfilled. I would feel like I wasn't maximizing my potential. I would feel lazy. So for everyone, think about what's the percentage that would make you the most fulfilled. And if you say 100% immediate gratification, 0% long term, I would say that's probably not true. No one wants immediate gratification 24/7, 365. It's not sustainable.
Well, unless you haven't done it long enough to know it's not sustainable.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. It's if I gave you $1 million, how fast would you spend it? I'd spend it immediately. Okay. Well, let's put ourselves at the end. After you spent all the $1 million, then what do you do? Well, I didn't think that far. Yeah, no, understandable. Because I didn't say that. I didn't say you had to live life after the million, but you do. You have to figure out what to do after the million. Yep. Also, in this analogy, what do you think it's good? So, Alan, anytime I travel, Alan always asks, "What are the lessons? What did you learn?" And I said, "I don't know, man. I'm going through my own thing. I'm trying to figure that out." But there's a piece of me that likes traveling like that and having things be all over the place because it takes me very out of my routine. And then when I come back, it usually takes a day or two. We're recording this on Friday. I'm glad I have Sunday coming up where I can just kind of see what is what. But there is a piece of me that likes my schedule being off the rails because it makes me far more attracted to my schedule being on the rails. You think it's good to go off the rails for a very constructive short amount of time?
Yeah. I think it gives perspective. When we took our trip to South Carolina, we drove through from Massachusetts to South Carolina, and it was a week where we worked, but it was good to get out of our environment because you really appreciate it more. You appreciate home more when you travel. I think that's half the reason travel is even a good thing. You go expand, you go learn. You said the harbor was really nice. You see new people, places, things, and ideas, and you expand your consciousness, and then you appreciate home even more. If you don't appreciate home even more, that means you need to repot yourself, and you probably outgrew your pot. It's the plant analogy of whatever pot you're in.
Smoke it.
If you're in a little pot and you're a big tree, you can only grow so much in that little pot. So I had a client who lived in Dubai, and then they came back to Finland, and they had a really hard time going back because they went and expanded so much. And now they're kind of doing a hybrid model. But it's really good to get out of your environment and out of your routine, because I think that's when you come back and you reevaluate your routine. That's when but I also don't encourage people to just go off the rails. There's constructive ways to purposely take mini trips or adventures away from the norm to then come back and then redesign your new normal to something that's more fulfilling.
And sometimes when you do something you haven't done in a long period of time, so many of the circumstances are different. You figure out if you like it the same or if you like it different. There was a lot of stuff going on in the business when I was away, and it was really good to prove to myself that even though I'm not home and I'm traveling and I don't have my setup and I'm not doing my normal stuff, I might have been more productive in some regards. Not the whole time, not overall.
Yeah.
But there was a day where I moved so many needles and things are getting built, for lack of better phrasing, that it might not have happened if I wasn't where I was. It definitely wouldn't have happened the way it happened. So that's a whole nother thing. What's your takeaway?
The takeaway is, if you feel like you resent your goals sometimes, that's normal. People just don't talk about it. But having huge goals is a huge responsibility. And sometimes it's just, I tell Emilia this every now and then, and I'm going to be vulnerable just sharing this. Sometimes I just need to bitch and moan a little.
Yeah.
And she just lets me vent. And sometimes it's like, you know what? I don't want to. And then I'm good. 5 minutes later, I'm good. Let's rock and roll. So sometimes I just need a little bit of time to complain.
Well, another good thing to do too, again, this has worked for me in the past, is sometimes I'll try to sell myself on the opposite idea. So let's say I don't want to go do something that I know I'll be grateful I did. I'll play devil's advocate and give myself all right, these are the reasons you shouldn't do it. And let's just try to paint some positive potential here. What are the reasons you should do it? Sometimes I do that, and it works quite nicely. So
nice.
I'll throw that in there. If it was that simple, we just do that every time. So maybe it's not valuable at all, but sometimes it works. So even if it works 1 out of 10 times, that's...
Can you give us an example?
Oh, man. I do it a lot when I'm thinking about ordering food.
Yeah, there you go.
When I'm thinking about ordering food, but it's the opposite. I really, really want to order food, and then I try to figure out, do you really want to drive to Taco Bell? Are you really going to pay $10 for them to deliver it? They always make it wrong. If you drive to this Taco Bell, you got to wait in line for 15 minutes. You're in your pajamas, so you're going to have to change. Boom, 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 boom.
We should do an episode at some point on a cost-value analysis.
Oh, it sounds sexy.
High level, though. We'll do it. I think it is. I love it.
And I'll wear my suit and my suspenders for that one, and I'll have a pocket square.
Yeah, obviously.
Right, cool. All right, we're going to get out of here. Alan has a call. It's Friday, and I ain't got no job, and I ain't got shit to do. But Alan has a call after this. If you are focused on getting to the next level little by little by little by little, and you want some extra accountability, make sure you are subscribed on whatever podcast platform you are listening on, or on YouTube if you are watching us there. And Alan you're going to 35 clients? Is that your goal?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, 35 in 2024. I have 6 spots left. If you want to achieve your goals this year into next year, that's what I'm going to help you with. I'm going to help you achieve your goals and stay accountable. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Yes, in alignment with who you are. Yes, fulfillment. Yes, you're going to learn a lot. But ultimately, my job is to keep you accountable towards your goals.
As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Please reach out.